This is easily the most addictive game in all of 2022, and it's kind of funny to think about it because with its incredibly basic graphics, its simplistic style of gameplay, I don't think that Vampire Survivors seems like something that would get its hooks in you, but my gosh, can I not stop playing it. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So I've been playing Vampire Survivors literally every single day for the last 3 months, both on Steam and my Steam Deck, and now it just came to Xbox Game Pass, and I'm getting addicted all over again. But what is this game? It's a roguelike, but one with a very interesting premise to it. The entirety of everything you're seeing here is controlled with just the left stick. All the other buttons don't do a single thing. Triggers don't do anything. Shoulders don't do anything. It's simply you using the left stick. Every time you turn on Vampire Survivors, there's just a singular goal. Survive 30 minutes. Now this seems easy because you are just using a joystick, but the difficulty comes to the randomness itself. So you get a chance to choose different characters, people that can have like Castlevania style whips, people that are shooting lasers that are able to pierce a particular target, or dudes that are throwing knives or axes and stuff like that. But what makes this more interesting is the fact that the game keeps getting more and more intense. Every 5 minutes you survive, they start to throw out different random bosses, swamp monsters, big witches, mummy kings, and stuff like that. And keep in mind, your attacks are all automated. If you're playing the guy who has the whip, it's just going to automatically go off every 2 seconds. You can't just save up your cooldowns. It all comes down to the randomness of the timing that's just happening without your full control. Now, I like this system a lot because what ends up making you be able to influence the gameplay is the decisions you make. Whenever you're leveling up by killing different monsters with whatever your chosen weapon is, you're going to notice they're dropping these little teeny tiny crystals. Pick enough up and you're going to level up. Every time you cross this threshold, you get a choice between a couple different bonuses. Now, these can be all completely passive things like making it so that you have more health or take less damage or just generally better luck so you get easier critical strikes. But a lot of times, they're very, very interesting bonuses, like making it so that straight up you get a new special ability like flinging fireballs. Or one of my personal favorite things is these weird, it's a holy Bible that just spirals around you. Initially, a lot of these abilities don't seem incredibly strong because if you just have, like in this example, a single holy Bible, it's not mega powerful. But every time you level up, you're going to get new random choices. Do you want an extra Bible? Do you want to make it so that the Bible you've already selected now does more of an area effect whenever it strikes? Do you want to make it so the spells you cast exist longer on the screen? If you did something like choosing holy water, this makes these random puddles of damage on the screen, and you could choose to buff those and make it so that if you're boosting your luck, maybe they'll crit people more often. If you up your range, maybe it'll make it so the circle, the puddle itself, is just larger, so even if it's not as strong, it can end up enveloping even more enemies. The truly addictive nature of Vampire Survivors comes down to this randomness because early on, you do just take some time to level up. It takes, 20 or 30 seconds per level you gain. But as you get even more overpowered, as you unlock big lasers or more projectiles or a super axe that manages to chop people in half, you're going to get way more experience points, especially if you max out a particular skill. If in a certain run you manage to get 7 bonuses to one trait, like say you just keep putting everything into the Holy Bible here, you get this skill where it's just constantly orbiting around you at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. I am basically a religious blender right here, which means not only am I chopping up everybody and sending them straight to the depths of hell where they belong because vampires are evil, but now I am just soaking up thousands of experience points. On an average decent run, you can kill 20,000 enemies. while the actual moment-to-moment combat is so randomized, you can still be surprisingly strategic. Like, if I'm playing this very old man, he has almost no health. This is the tiniest default health pool of any of the characters in the game, but he begins with garlic. This is an area effect, just aura. Any vampire that comes near you, you're going to automatically damage them, and it's a pretty decent amount of damage. It also creates pushback, so some of the elites that randomly show up every 5 minutes, the super bosses, it'll push those dudes back, at least minorly. Now, the reason this is important is because the average tiny minions, these guys, they hit for like 2 or 3 damage. Not something that's really going to kill you unless you're very, very careless. If you're running, a lot of times you can stay ahead of the pack. The bosses, though, these big dudes that keep showing up that get bigger and beefier every couple minutes, these guys can genuinely one-shot you. Like, if they grab you, you're going to get incredibly quick. But while I've been progressing around and chopping people up, I bet you've probably noticed that I am picking up gold. What this does is that to try and make it so that things can eventually get skewed in your favor, there is a shop. Between rounds, you can buy different passive bonuses, making it so you have more just general health, making it so that the range of which you can pick up items is bigger, which, trust me, is incredibly strong. You can buy it so you have 2 lives instead of 1. You can actually pay to make the enemy stronger and more plentiful, which even that ends up being kind of a bonus, because if you have double the enemies, it means that more easily you can get double the experience points. I think this game is just so endlessly addictive because of all of these unlockables. Surviving in the forest unlocks a library. Surviving in the library unlocks a big evil lab. Every single map has different enemies, different gimmicks, different little hidden relics and stuff like that. And you're constantly getting new magic. At the start, there's only like 10 different styles of spell you can unlock, but after a bit, you start to get duplicators that make it so you have multiple shots at once, or special knives or crosses that you can throw that work as big cursed boomerangs, basically. I think this is such a good game because really you can just keep playing it, and every run is going to be different. Every 30-minute chunk feels like its own tiny chaotic adventure, and even if you die, it's incredibly fun to even attempt to survive another day. I feel like Game Pass hasn't had the best crazy games this year. It still had some good stuff, but what's kind of been the most fun for me has been these indie experiences. Stuff like Vampire freaking Survivor. This game is great. Games like Signalis, which I've been playing a bunch of recently. This stuff, honestly, I'm loving it. I'm so glad they put this on here, and I really hope you give it a shot. I think this is on all Xbox consoles. They probably are going to put it on Xbox Cloud Service or something like that. Vampire Survivor, whether you play it on Xbox or you play it on Steam, or if you're lucky enough, your Steam Deck, this game is addictive as heck, and I highly recommend it. This entire video was actually just an excuse because now that it's finally topical, I can tell you about basically the digital crack I've been enjoying. You guys rock. Hopefully you get a chance to play Vampire Survivors. Even if you don't typically enjoy roguelikes, please, I seriously beg you, play the game for like 5 minutes. It doesn't have the best music. It doesn't have very good graphics. A lot of the freaking monsters look like they're doing this. But still, you're going to love it within that first 5 minutes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But please do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Oh my god. I love this game. It's so funny that, like, I bought this game for $3 on Steam, and I kind of thought it just looked terrible. And here I am months later still playing it. So, you win, developers. You win. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.